It's been a good week so far. I know I keep saying that, and I know my sleep is still a wreck and my to-do list is somehow getting longer instead of shorter. But it was. I found a van, a proper delivery van in great condition, keys sitting right on the ground beside it outside an abandoned house like it was waiting for me. I introduced myself to the neighbors south of the farm. Forgot to get their names like a complete idiot. I'll bring them an apple pie when I get back from visiting Mom and Dad to make up for it. As for my to-do list, I picked up the second generator and made a trip out to the general store, but somehow managed to come home without the wood planks again, which is impressive in a way I'm not proud of. The farmhouse is really starting to feel like mine. That's the thing I keep coming back to. I wake up in the morning and the light comes through the windows at a particular angle, and for a few minutes before I fully surface, I just feel settled, calm, like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I haven't felt that way in a long time. Maybe ever.
I finally made the time to get back to the gas station to fill and grab the last of the gas cans. You'd think in an apocalypse you have unlimited time and nothing to do, but the amount of things to do is unfathomable. Security, stockpiling, inventory, organizing, wash, rinse, repeat. There were 2 infected near the station when I got there. Slow ones, the kind I'd normally just lead away down a side street and lose in a parking lot somewhere. I stood there for a second and just looked at them and thought, I don't have it in me today. So I didn't lead them anywhere. I took care of it and moved on. I'm not sure if that's becoming practical or becoming something else. I'll think about it later. Well, now is later. I guess it might be easier if I didn't know they're working on a cure. If I could just blindly eliminate the infected without wondering if they could be saved, but I just can't. After I heard what Jake said, every time I see one, I wonder if the human is still in there, trapped in a world of agony. Do they retain a bit of themselves? Is there someone in there trying to communicate? Or is their mind gone so far that they don't remember who they were and all they can do is devour? Some of them are so rotten, I don't know how they're still standing. And it just makes me wonder if they are actually curable or not.
I've been forgetting my sleeping meds again, which I know, and my sleep has been so bad that I drifted into a tree again. I was barely moving, braked in time, the car's fine. But I need to get that appointment booked. Things look strange sometimes at the edges when I'm that tired. The brain starts playing tricks. I stopped by the small grocery store and the produce was terrible, which I'm going to file a formal complaint about because someone should. Susan always says I let things go too easily, and maybe she's right. Some things are worth the fuss. I went to the pharmacy twice, organized the shed, updated my maps, stopped at the bait shop and picked up fishing lures for Dad. His birthday's this week, and I'm driving out to see my parents. It's been too long. Way too long, actually. I don't know how I let it stretch this far. I've been trying to call Mom. She hasn't been picking up. I keep telling myself I'll try again tomorrow and then getting distracted by the to-do list. I'll call from the road.
I've been back and forth to the farmhouse north of town more times than I expected. There's a bull and a few cows out there that I've started stopping to see. I don't know what that says about me. They don't need anything from me, don't want advice or a plan or a supply run. They're just there. I scratch behind their ears for a few minutes and then I grab whatever I came for and head back to the haven. It's not efficient, but I keep going back anyway. The east and west walls are finally done. I've started calling it the Great Wall of Mary, which I think is funny, and I'm aware that I'm the only one laughing. Ellie would laugh. The stores on Main Street have been on my list for a while. I finally walked it properly this week, going into each storefront and taking stock of what's left. Most of it has been ruined, but there are still useful things if you're willing to look. I've been going through garages and sheds around town too, pulling tools and hardware, anything that might matter later. The problem now is space. I've started stacking things on the floor because I've run out of shelving, which is its own kind of chaos and goes against everything in me. The organized medical reference section I built feels almost ironic next to a pile of miscellaneous hardware sitting on the floor beside it. More shelving is on the list.
I left this morning, loaded the van, put the fishing lures on the passenger seat so I wouldn't forget them, and headed out. The oven stopped working before I left. No idea what that's about. I'll have to call someone when I get back. One more thing for the list. The drive was fine. Normal. I had the window cracked and was thinking about what I'd make for dinner when I got there. Whether Mom would have already started something or whether I should stop and pick something up on the way. And then I saw something at the edge of the tree line. People crouched over something on the ground. I think they were eating it. But I know I need to write that down because I need to look at it. I need to actually look at it instead of driving past it the way I drove past everything else this week. I've been forgetting my meds. I know what happens to a brain that isn't sleeping. I know it starts generating things that aren't there, fills in the gaps with whatever it can find. That has to be what this was. That has to be. There are cars on the road. Cars everywhere. At every angle, doors hanging open, like everyone got out in the middle of wherever they were going and just walked away. And between them are people, but they're not walking right. They're moving like something's broken in them, like they've forgotten how. I've slowed down. I'm barely moving now. I'm writing this in the van in the middle of the road because I need to write it down before my brain smooths it over again the way it's been smoothing everything overnight. The lures are in the passenger seat. I bought them for Dad's birthday. I called Mom twice this week and she didn't pick up, and I told myself she was busy. I'm not going home for his birthday. I'm going home to find out if they're still alive. I need to drive faster. I need to stop writing and drive faster.
I cleared the last of the rotten produce out of the grocery store, then stopped at the bakeries to do the same. All of it went into the compost bin. It felt like the right thing to do with it. Something useful out of something lost. The generator pickup nearly went sideways. I'd already scoped the location, felt confident about the approach, went in focused. An infected came from a direction I hadn't accounted for, and I had to defend myself before I could get the generator loaded. My hands were shaking afterward. Not from fear exactly, more from the specific exhaustion of being caught off guard when you thought you'd been careful. I got it back to the hay bin. That's what matters. What happened at the kitchen was worse. I won't pretend otherwise. I went in to loot what I could and didn't pay enough attention to how many windows were broken or how exposed the space actually was. By the time I understood the situation, there were too many of them and not enough room. One of them got hold of my jacket at the shoulder and bit down. I heard the fabric tear. I felt it give. I don't know how much clearance there was between the bite and my skin, but I know it wasn't much. There's some bruising, but I think that was just from the pressure. There's no visible scraping or scratches. I'm checking my temperature every hour and tracking it. So far, I'm healthy. But when I got back to the van and got home, I just sat there for a long time. I couldn't get the shaking under control enough to even open the van door, and I couldn't talk myself into going inside anyway. I didn't want to be alone inside with my own thoughts, which is a strange thing to realize about yourself when you've spent 3 weeks being alone with your own thoughts. How has it been 3 weeks? No one has come. I keep waiting to write that differently, to frame it as patience or strategy, but the truth is, it's starting to feel like something heavier than that. I hear things sometimes. Gunshots a few blocks over. Screaming, real screaming. People who are still alive and scared and close. And then nothing. They never quite make it here. I don't know if they don't know to look or if they almost make it and then don't. I think about leaving. Going out to find whoever is still out there instead of waiting for them to find me. But if someone shows up the day after I go, if Ellie shows up and there's no one here, no light on, no sign that this place is anything other than an empty building, I can't do that to her. So I stay. I finish the wall and I pet the cows and I sort the supplies and I keep the lights on. If one person walks through that door because I was here, it'll have been worth it. I'm still sure of that.
I couldn't drive anymore. I was too tired. So I found an abandoned house and slept here last night, but I couldn't sleep. I keep trying and it only comes in fits, and then I'm awake again in the dark, not knowing where I am. I've been reading back through this journal for the last hour, and I don't recognize the person who wrote most of it. The first week I remember. I wrote it down. I can read it, and I remember all of it. Kim in the parking lot, Kathy at the police station, all of it. It happened. I know it happened. And then the next 2 weeks are brunch with Officer Hadley, borrowing Kim's car, the farmhouse, a to-do list with rose bushes on it. I killed Kim on day 1. She was already gone. I know that the same way I know my own name. And I also have a memory of running into her at the grocery store and having a perfectly normal conversation, and she looked fine. I can see her face. I can see both of her faces. The birthday party. I remember being invited and having fun. I remember the house, the party hats, coming through the door and all of our friends turning to look at me, and which one is real? I know which one is real. I know. But I can remember both of them, and I can't make one go away, and I don't understand how that's possible. I don't understand how I spent 2 weeks writing about sourdough recipes and apple pie while what? What was I actually doing? I don't fully know. I'm not sure I want to. The power went out at the farmhouse. The oven, the lights. I had an explanation for all of it. Glasses prescription, sleep deprivation, a faulty appliance. An explanation for everything that didn't fit, filed away and forgotten. I don't know if that kept me alive or if I just got lucky. Maybe both. Maybe it doesn't matter now. I have to keep moving. It looks like this bridge is as far as I'll be able to drive. I'm going on foot from here. I'm gonna leave this journal behind. Fuck. I don't even know if I'll make it back. If this is still here, it means I didn't. If that's the case and you're reading this, stay away from Louisville. It's not worth your life, too. Take what you want from the van. Hell, take the van. I'm leaving the key in the ignition. There's supplies you can use. My house is fully stocked. It's the farmhouse west of Riverside. Just follow the dirt road till you come to the first driveway on the right. Hopefully nothing broke into it in the meantime. I guess all I can say is best of luck. Stay quiet, stay safe, stay alive. If you run into Mary Collins in Rosewood, tell her Ellie didn't make it. That I'm sorry I didn't listen to her, and I'm even more sorry that I won't be there to help her. If you find her, take care of her. 'Cause I know she won't take care of herself. She'll be too focused on helping everyone else to make sure she's eating properly or taking breaks. She'll work herself to the bone and then keep going.